Welcome, guys, to another session. Today's topic is discovering your top life roles. Okay, why I think this topic is so important? Why I think this topic is really important? Because it ties up with motivation, it ties up with time management, with intention, with presence, and it's a topic that honestly it's such a powerful exercise that once you do it, it's going to make your life simpler, more clear. You're going to have more clarity, more confidence, and it's going to be easier to manage because you're going to be you are going to start thinking about those roles rather than sometimes we just feel overwhelmed with 1,000 things we have to do all mixed up together. Some days, guys, I feel very overwhelmed because if I am not being intentional, maybe I have to cook the meal for the day. Maybe I have to take my daughter to daycare. Maybe I need to clean up. Maybe I have to create a course or do something for work. Maybe I have a meeting. And everything is just mixed up, tangled together, and the day feels chaotic, I don't know, I'm just stumbling into things and I don't have a direction. I don't feel calm. I feel like I am just going, and I have a hard time sometimes managing that. When I am intentional and I start thinking about roles and I remind myself, okay, now I am being a dad. Okay, now I am being a cook. I'm cooking delicious food for my family. Okay, now I am being Emilio and I am practicing self-care just with myself. Now I am going to be playful and I'm going to be juggling my balls. Now I am going to be an amazing coach and teacher for my students. You know what I mean? When I set the intention, everything becomes a little bit more clear. I feel more motivated. I feel more clarity and I feel less overwhelmed. So that's why today's session is about discovering what your roles are in life. Okay? And they're going to look different for each of you. So the exercise is going to be very eye-opening, I hope, if you haven't done it yet. Okay? So some examples of some of mine, okay, before you guys do your exercise. So I have one here. I'm happy to read a few. I want to be a supportive and fun friend. I want to be Eva's fantastic, caring, and playful daddy. So that's my daughter's name is Eva. So that's a name, that's a sentence that when I read it, I feel inspired to do that. I want to be with that dad. So that's why it's important that whatever you create for yourself, you can come up with a sentence that describes the person that you feel inspired about, the person that you want to become. Okay? I want to be an irresistible and loving husband. I want to be a master chef of healthy and delicious food. So that's for my cooking, for my family, right? Because so many times I have a hard time cooking, guys. It feels like a huge chore that is right here on my shoulders, pressing me down, and I just don't want to do it. And sometimes I just have a hard time. And yes, I teach meal planning. Yes, I have all the systems. Yes, I can be very efficient when I do it. But sometimes I just don't feel like doing it. But I have to do it because my family is expecting me to cook for them. And it is my responsibility every other day. So when I drop the ball, the day becomes messy. There is frustration. There is disappointment from my family. I end up making bad decisions and I don't feel good about myself. Okay, so that's why creating a sentence that defines that area of my life and then creating a block of time where I'm going to become that person, it's important. For example, today I started a new routine that I wanted to create, and that was about meal planning and me dropping the ball, not cooking and not being intentional. So I read this sentence to myself again. Like, I want to become a master chef of healthy and delicious food. I want to make it in an efficient way. So this morning, I woke up at 6:15 a.m. and I cooked a meal for the day because today is my day. So that's my way of changing my habit. That's my way of being proactive. Because majority of the times I am awake at 6 a.m. I just choose not to get up, but I'm already rested. Okay? So this is one example. This says, I want to find my joy and connect to my creativity and bring it to the world. Amazingly, so that's a beautiful statement. Okay? I want to find my joy and connect to my creativity and bring it to the world. Nice. So guys, now what did I cook, Cecilia? I cook spaghetti with meat sauce, peppers, onions, garlic, tomato sauce, and then minced meat, and then spaghettis. So it was something. We are at the end of our groceries, so there is pretty much nothing left in the fridge, and tomorrow I have to go grocery shopping. So today I was just using all the leftovers, everything that we had, so to make sure that the fridge is empty and nothing goes to waste, and that's what I could make. Okay, so this is the process. This is the exercise for you guys. I want you to think about your top roles right now in your life. Okay, what are your top roles that you want to nurture? What are the roles that you want to make sure that you are taking care of? Examples. In my case, I have a role. I am a father. I am a husband. Okay. I am Emilio. So I want to practice self-care and have Emilio time. Okay. That means exercising, socializing with friends, learning new things. I am a teacher on Inside Timer. I am a course creator. Okay. So those are some of the main roles in my life. I am a son for my parents. I am a brother for my sister. Okay, so you get the idea. You start noticing what are the roles that are important to you right now. Okay, what are the roles that are important to you right now? And get started with the basics. If you are overwhelmed, don't write 20. Okay, write the basic ones. Okay, and then once you have those done, the next step will be to then, when am I gonna be doing this in my week? Okay, during my day, during my week, when am I gonna create time to nurture these roles? Okay, so once you have, I don't know, 3, 5, however many roles you come up with, then you are going to create blocks of time every week to make them a reality. So for example, if you have a job and you work 9 to 5 and that's one of your roles, I am a whatever job title you have, then that's the window of time that you are allowing yourself to do the work. If you are a father or a mother, then you will have time where you have to take care of your children because they are not maybe at school, they are not in daycare. So in my case with my wife, we separate our time when Eva is not in daycare. So some mornings I drop her to school, some evenings I pick her up, and then Friday she doesn't go to school. So Samantha does the morning and I do the evening, and then weekends we alternate morning and evening if we are not doing something with family-wise, right? So that's how we do it. But that's my dad role. That's when that happens. That's when I can be Eva's fantastic and caring and playful daddy. When I am with her, I can also be a master chef of healthy and delicious food, and I can include her in the process. So see, I am tackling two things at once. I can also nurture Emilio by doing self-care, something that I enjoy, and include my daughter on it. So I can be nurturing myself by maybe I go rollerblading and I push her in the stroller, or I go to the park and I juggle my balls, or I slackline, or I go for a bicycle trip and she's in the bicycle trailer. So you see, I am doing two things at once. I am nurturing those two roles for myself. Okay? So I want you to come up with those main roles that you have right now, the ones that you want to create. And I invite you to share some of them in the chat. Share some of the ones that are coming up for you. Just one word, a couple words, or a sentence if you have a sentence. Okay? So Amy says, fiancé, daughter, bride, yoga teacher, aunt, friend, patient advocate, medical patient. I want a different word for this one. Beautiful, Amy. So you have a few there that those are the ones that you want to nurture. Savannah says, I spent a lot of time caregiving elders, loved ones, but now since my father's death, I have space, time for something new. So you have time for you. So Savannah, sorry about your loss. And yes, now this is what happens when life events happen and when you transition through different stages of life. Your life roles may be different. They may look very different, actually. Like someone who is retiring, they will start facing a completely different lifestyle than what they used to have before when they were working. When you become a father or a mother, parents in general, you have a family, your life roles change drastically too. you have to spend way more time in nurturing for your children that you didn't have that role before. It doesn't mean that you have to neglect everything else, but you just have to be more intentional, okay? And it's going to take a little bit of tweaking. If you are starting your own business, for example, and you are coming from the corporate world, you are transitioning from stability, from security, from a fixed time that you work into the unknown, into a venture that you don't even know how to tackle yet. You have to put things down, you have to create systems, and you don't have consistency yet. So that's a transition too. Okay, so those are some ideas and some strategies for you to take in account. So Kelly says, I'm a woman, daughter, friend, auntie, and sister. Beautiful, Kelly. And Doug mom. So you guys are coming up with your life categories. Okay, so once you have them, now is the time for you to then think, when am I going to be doing this? And why is it important to create windows of time for this? Because if you don't, they get mixed up together. And sometimes that creates a lot of chaos. That works for some people, but it may not work for others. When you put it on the calendar or you set the intention to maybe every week, for example, one of my roles is I want to be a community volunteer. Okay, once a week, at least once a week, I want to be a community volunteer. I want to give back somehow. So I found an opportunity to do that. And every Monday morning, I go for 2 hours to a retirement home and I just play games with elder people. I just play card games and I just spend 2 hours with them. So that happens every week. So before that was set to stone and I found this opportunity, I was spending a couple hours a week researching, contacting people and trying to find an opportunity. Okay, so that was my way of creating that role and making that role a reality. I was allowing a little bit of time every week. You can decide how much or how little. That's your choice. But you have to remind yourself of this. Writing these things down in your journal and then writing down on the side how much time are you allowing for that, that can also be a good idea. If you want to take it to the next level, you can also create an ideal week and then try to put that in your week. But sometimes creating your week may be something that may work for some people. For some other people, maybe creating your week can be a little bit overwhelming, and that's okay. You don't have to do this. I myself find that because there are some of these things, I have to do them at a specific time. For me, it made sense to put in my week the things that are important and the things that need to happen at a specific time. So in my case, I have a window of time to be at that because I have to be with my daughter specific time frames. Okay, I have to be here with you guys at a specific time. So I need to put that in my calendar. Okay, I have to put my volunteer on Monday mornings because that's when it happens. My wife and I, we decided that we are going to work with people in their homes only on Wednesdays. That was a decision to make our week easy. So that's what we do. We block Wednesdays. We don't do anything else in there. And we always book Wednesdays to work with people one-on-one. in their homes. And when someone calls us, we only offer Wednesdays, and that's it. We don't offer anything else. Only in emergencies we may offer something different, but we already have the week structure in that way. And that was a work in progress, that it came from doing this exercise. It came from the awareness of, what do I want to do in my week? When do I want to do these things? For the things that are flexible, like if you, for example, if you are an artist and you want to paint more, painting doesn't have to happen at a specific time unless you have a workshop or something specific at a specific time. So you can play around with however you feel. You start noticing how your energy feels throughout the day, throughout the week, and you will start discovering what is the right time for you to paint. And you can test it. You can test it early morning. You can test it middle of the day. You can test it evenings. You can test it during the weekends. And then the more you test, the more you notice, like, I don't like early mornings. I love evenings. I love doing it on Thursdays after my session of whatever. So you will start discovering when things work for you and why. That's why this is a work in progress. And don't worry if you don't have clarity right now, because you don't have to. You are allowing yourself time to discover. Okay? So this says, I want a top role about being fit and also playing sports games, but I haven't done it in years. Any tips about how to name it and how to get started? D. I would recommend, so you are trying to get fit, you are trying to get involved with playing sports games with other people, but you haven't done it in years. So you are just getting back to it. Any tips on how to name this and how to get started? Yeah, happy to share. First, I will come up with an affirmation that makes you excited. Okay? Right now, if you create an affirmation that means I am gonna be fit and I'm gonna play sports, that may be a little bit scary for you. So maybe an affirmation that may fit you better, just think about your present situation. I am discovering ways to get fit that are playful and that are exciting to me. That's something that just came up. I don't know. If you resonate with that, then that's your next step. You are researching options, maybe, and then how to take action on this. You decide, how much time do I want to allow for this area of my life, for this role, life role. Maybe it's 1 hour a week, 2 hours a week, 4 hours a week, 3 times a week, whatever that is for you. The first step for you will be, I am going to allow myself time to research. What are the options around my community? Are there any gyms? What kind of sports can I practice around me? Am I willing to drive or do I want to walk? And then you start noticing what's around you. You start asking people. You start going online, going to the gyms, looking at the programming that they have. Maybe you talk with friends, and maybe you want to do something with friends rather than going into a gym. So you start noticing what's around you, all the possibilities that you have. And then once you have that information, that's when you are going to feel inspired to then test ideas. Okay? You don't have to commit for a year. You just say, you can change even your affirmation. Once you find something, you can change your affirmation to say, I am going to try playing volleyball in this team that accepted me. And I'm going to try this for like 8 weeks or 4 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever. And then you pursue that and you see how it goes. And then you reassess, you notice if you like it, if you don't like it, if it's working out for you. And if it is, do more of it. And if it doesn't, try something different. So that's the approach that I will take if I were you. Those are the options that I think can be a nice way to get started without being scary, overwhelming, and always being intentional about how much time do you want to allow for this in your life, how important this is. In my personal life, for example, I play squash, and I allow myself, after playing squash for years, now things evolve depending on the times, right? And depending on the people that join. But right now, I normally find myself going to the gym on Tuesday evenings between 6:30 p.m. and 8:30 and there is a group of us who go there and we will play with each other. So there is like a friendly league happening organically. It just happened that way. And then Thursday lunch, normally I play a game because I like to split my day. Sometimes in the weekend I do, but those are my two main times that I aim for. And I try to make that happen every week. So that's an example. I allow myself between 4 to 6 hours a week to play squash. And that includes the time going there, showering, coming back, blah, blah, blah. Playing squash is maybe an hour or an hour and a half. But then there is transition time. Always allow yourself transition time when you are planning activities, okay? Take in account how much time it's gonna take me to go there, to come back, to get things ready, to put things back, to take a shower, etc. Make sure that you are mindful of that, okay? So I am amazed that you are able to do the incline work during the weekdays. For my work, people always want weekends. Frustrating. Let me tell you that people were always asking for weekends from us, always, but we always say no. People were asking for evenings and weekends, and we say no, no, no. And we lost work, most likely we did, but that was our boundary. We didn't want to work weekends, because if we open that door, every weekend will be busy for us, and every evening will be busy. And I don't like that week. I personally don't like. Some people like it, I don't like it. So that's why that was our boundary. Whoever wants to work with us, we only do it on Wednesdays, and that's it. That's what we design, but it doesn't have to be the same for you. You can find your balance. If you enjoy weekends, then you can do more, but if you find it frustrating, start offering something different. And if people really want to work with you, they will make the time to do it. Okay? This is so helpful, especially the gentle start, because I was feeling overwhelmed in thinking about it. Thank you. Yeah, this is why this exercise is so powerful, because you don't have to make it overwhelming. Okay? It's very important to meet yourself where you are at. And don't create an affirmation that feels very far away, because then you will not get started. You need to create an affirmation. You need to create a life role that fits your needs now. Okay? And then it will evolve over time. Guys, when you create your life roles and you have them very clearly in your notebook and you can see them, and you are investing time every week with intention, life is still gonna be chaotic. Sometimes life is gonna be unstructured, life events are gonna happen, blah, blah, blah. But what happens when in that week you have intentional windows of time that you block and you protect? It's like you going to the doctor. If you have a doctor's appointment and you know that he's not gonna be available, or she, until 3 months from now, if you miss the appointment, how many of you are gonna miss the appointment? And how many of you are gonna do whatever it takes to get there on time? Most likely, everybody's gonna try their best to get to the appointment on time, because if you don't, you're gonna have to wait for a long time, right? So I want you to treat this the same way. If you want to be an amazing artist and you are allowing yourself 2 hours a week, so you create a block of time and then you treat that like a doctor's appointment. You tell everybody who lives with you, your family members, your friends, what you are doing. You tell them how important it is for you. You tell them that you are not to be interrupted, and that's your time to create. That's your time to paint. Okay? When you start doing that, what's gonna happen over time? You may become a good painter. You may expand how much time you are doing it. Maybe you can even create a business out of it. So things start evolving. But you need to plant the seed and you need to water that seed. Okay? The seed that you are planting is your intention, and you're blocking the time in the week. Okay? And the watering is you actually showing up. Is you actually putting your energy, your time, and your intention behind that idea. Okay? So in my case, if I want to be a master chef of healthy and delicious food, that is my intention and that's my seed. I plant that seed in my week by allowing myself time to do it. Right now, I put a block of time on Monday mornings at 6 to 8 a.m. 2 hours. My intention will be to have groceries ready and to have a list of meals I want to make the night before, so that when I get up on Monday morning, everything is ready. I know what I'm doing, and the only thing I have to do is put a nice podcast on, get chopping, and get cooking, and then hopefully produce 2 to 3 meals that morning. So that's how I water my seed, by showing up, by doing it. Okay? That's just one example. In your case, start thinking about how can I make this a reality in my week? Okay? How can I make this doable? Okay? So Erin says, in order to keep my life balanced, I have accepted a role in each category that I set goals in. There are 9 categories that I have spoken of previously. So Erin, beautiful. So you have 9 categories. I missed them. Sorry, the chat goes really fast. So if you want to share them again, I will read them out loud. But yeah, once you have your categories, your list, that's when you get started. Okay, when is this going to happen during my week? When is this going to happen during my day? And if you look at that list often, hopefully daily, it's going to start becoming automatic. Your brain is going to start understanding what you are trying to do. And when that happens, guess what's going to happen? Your brain is going to start looking for ways to make that a reality. And that's what happens with me. When I create my life categories, I create my self-care list, and I have clarity about the things that I want to do and why, then my brain starts looking for options. How can I make this happen? How can I be more efficient so that I can cook, be a dad, and practice self-care at the same time? And then you start becoming resilient, you start becoming creative, playful, more efficient, more intentional. And then your day starts flowing easily. Okay? So Erin shared her categories. Let me read them for you. So she has health, personal development, creative, finance, romance, family, household, community, and recreation free time. Beautiful, Erin. Would you be willing to share how do you manage your time so that you can nurture all of these categories? And do you nurture them weekly, daily, monthly? How do you make sure that you spend time in each one? I would love if you want to share that, because real examples from other people are always very inspiring, just to see what others are doing, things that are working for them. Because I'm happy to share my examples, but sometimes it's nice to have other people's examples too. So feel free to type that in the chat, Erin, please, if you want. Yeah, so guys, take some time, okay, to create your list. Think about a sentence that shows a sentence that will inspire you on each category, that when you read it, you say, yeah, I want to be that person. Like when I read, I want to be an ultimate lover, husband, dad, and friend. That inspires me, right? I want to be Samantha's raving fan, best friend, and crazy romantic lover. When I read that to myself and I really visualize myself being that, I get excited because I want to be that person for my wife. Okay? Of course, sometimes I won't be able to be. But what happens if I remind myself of this sentence every day or a few times every week? My brain is going to start thinking about how can I become that? What can I do right now to get closer to that? How can I be a crazy romantic lover? What can I do to make her tick? You know what I mean? Like my brain will start looking for things. And then clarity is going to start happening for you. Okay? So Erin says, each month and I decide how to move my life forward in each category during the next month. Every Sunday, I plan schedule the steps for my week. Each category gets attention each week. So, Erin, correct me if I'm wrong. Every Sunday, you reflect about your week and then you set intentions for the new week. And at the end of the month, you will tweak the categories if they need to be tweaked or the activities that need to happen. Is that correct? So that's a beautiful system. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. So that's one system that you can model if you guys want. In my case, I do what I call a creation, and it's something similar to Erin's. I come up with the life categories that make sense to me, and then I write down a few bullet points that I want to take action on. Okay, and then I try to come up with an affirmation, a sentence that inspires me. And then I try to go back to that a few times every week so that I remind myself, and guys, when you do this often, you will not need to go back there because you are going to automate it. You are going to start thinking about your week, your day, your week, your month with those categories in mind. Okay? And then you are just going to keep evolving and keep making it better, simpler, more flowing to your style, more flowing to your needs. And then you will start becoming more flexible. But you have to get started somewhere. And you need to remind your brain of what you are trying to do until it becomes a habit. Okay? So guys, what else is coming? So Amy says, I want to be an adventurous, sexy, fun, outdoorsy fiancé, a loving daughter, a compelling, devoted writer, a compassionate, chronic illness warrior, yoga teacher, and patient advocate, a crazy, silly, trusted confidant, and friend to my nephew. Beautiful, Amy. Those are beautiful sentences, beautiful affirmations that represent who you want to become on each life role that you have designed for yourself. So this is another beautiful example, guys, for you to just take note of. You can use some of the same words, you can use some of the same life categories, life roles, if that suits your needs. But I will invite you to really take some time to reflect about your life and take some time to think about what do you really want. And guys, there is another exercise that you can do if you want. And this is an exercise of reflection, an exercise where you are going to think about the things that you would like to see in your life every day, every week, every month, and every year. Okay? I did this exercise a few months ago, and let me tell you, it was really eye-opening because it became very clear what I wanted to see in my life every day. It became very clear the things that I am happy to do weekly. It became very clear the things that I want to do monthly. The majority of the times, to be honest, my things happen weekly or yearly. Like monthly, normally I don't have a lot of things that happen monthly because it's either it's reflected in my week or once a year we do a trip to Spain. Once a year I do a trip with myself to do something. So that's my reality. But you can think about that. Okay, you can create 3 columns. One column, you are going to call it daily. Second column, you are going to call it weekly. Third column, you can call it monthly or you can call it yearly. It depends on your specific needs. You can also have 4 columns. So you can have daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly. And I will invite you to start writing down under each column the things that you want to see. And I am happy to share the one that I did. That I have my journal here with me. And I am happy to share some of the things I have. So daily, I want to meditate at least 20 minutes. I want to juggle my balls or do something that is playful and fun. It doesn't have to take a long time, just a few minutes a day at least. I want to exercise daily, something. Go for a walk, go for a short bike ride, play squash. I would like to do something that is a little bit exercise, right? I would like to learn something new. I would like to play games. I want to have Eva time, quality time with my daughter every day. Okay? And then I want to be present. I want to ask for help. I want to be present and ask for help for the things that I need. Okay? What do I want to happen in my week? I want to be creative somehow. Do an activity that is creative at least once a week. I want to have social time with friends and family at least once a week. I want to watch a movie maybe a few times a week, but it doesn't have to be daily. Okay? I want to engage with students in my work a couple times a week. I would like to have a family adventure at least once a week. And a family adventure can be going to get ice cream to the mall using the scooter, or go and have a picnic with a blanket to the park, or going to the backyard and setting up the tent and simulate that we are camping. So you don't have to go away to have a family adventure. It can be just something fun that you do around your house, okay? But it's something special, something different. And then what would like to do monthly? I would like to do a home project, fix something, build something, do something in the garden. Once a month, I have fun doing that. I would like to get a massage. I would like to do a speaking gig for my business. And then yearly, I would like to have a trip to Spain. I would like to go at least once camping. I would like to learn something new, take a course, a substantial course to learn something, or go to a retreat and learn something once a year at least. So these are some examples, right? When you guys have those 4 lists and you see them, it's going to be easier for you to create your life roles, because it's going to be very clear what you want, okay? And why and how often. Okay? So Amy says, thank you for this exercise. This is very motivating. Affirmations started in the present as if they already happened, which is how I learned to do it. Have become heavy because my mind rebels. Yeah, guys, your mind rebels. Of course, you are going to face resistance. When you are trying to change something in your life, most likely you are going to face resistance. What is the resistance? Limiting beliefs, people around you telling that you cannot do it, negative self-talk. Emilio, you don't have the time. Emilio, you are not good enough. Emilio, why do you deserve to have time for yourself? Emilio, you should be doing something more important. Emilio, that's a waste of time. Being playful is a waste of time. Do something more important. Blah, blah, blah. You get what I'm saying. So you need to face that resistance with intention, with energy. And guys, next Thursday, in 2 days, I'm going to be talking about archetypes, okay? Archetypes are different kinds of energies that we can tap into, that we can embody to be able to do things in life. Some of the archetypes are the lover. It's your ability to love, your ability to be connected, your ability to relate to people. Then you have the warrior. It's your ability to bring energy to fight for what you want. And this is not a physical fight with a sword or violent. This is you committing to yourself with the things that are important to you. You showing up. You not procrastinating. You deciding to do something and showing up even if you don't feel like it. That's energy that you can tap into. You can tap into creativity, get in that flow, tap into creating something beautiful. You can tap into magician energy, and that's your energy to solve problems, your energy to be creative, your energy to just change things. You know what I mean? There are so many things that you can tap into, and that session is going to help you create these roles and be able to pursue them with more intention, be able to face that resistance with more tools, face that resistance with more presence and with more energy. Because when you become intentional, when you set these life roles, when you write those sentences and you read them out loud, and you start feeling, I want to be that person, I want to be that dad, I want to be that husband, I want to be the master chef in my house, I want to become an inspiring teacher for my students. When you start feeling that, you are going to be able to face that resistance with more power. Okay? So I hope that you guys can show up next Thursday. I think I will look at what I already do. Yeah, so I'm reading some comments now. Fear of failure and that this time I won't get it back. Deborah says, setting up those goals may be a good exercise for my family. We can sit at the table together and help each other set goals and also have some goals together with everyone's input. Deborah, that's beautiful. And of course, if you can do this exercise with someone else, it's way more powerful, especially with your family, because if you guys do this exercise together, what's going to happen is that you're going to be influenced positively by each other. You're going to brainstorm ideas together. You are going to share your life roles and the things that are important to you. So everybody's going to become aware of your own wants. You are going to become aware of what the important things are for them. And then you're going to be able to support each other with more intention, to respect each other because you understand what's happening and why. And that's the beauty of sharing this work, that when the family, the people you live with, they know what you are doing and they are aware of it, they can support you, they can encourage you, they can motivate you. And if they don't want to have anything to do, you have the opportunity to create a boundary and say, hey, this is really important for me. It's okay if you don't want to participate, but I will really appreciate if you can respect time, or if you can respect and just own your needs. You need to own your needs. You need to face them. You need to voice them, and you need to ask for them to be met, okay? In a way that is healthy for both people, for everybody involved in the process. Okay, so that's a beautiful example, and I love that you guys brought that up, because of course this is something that you should do with your family if you can, if they are open to it. Okay. Another role, a magical manifesting mamacita. I like it. See, you guys are starting to be playful and creative, and you are coming up with these amazing sentences. So the more you do this exercise, guys, the better it's gonna get. Okay? So time is up. I hope that you guys enjoy this session. Thank you for showing up. I hope to see you guys on Thursday, where we're gonna be talking about the archetypes. And until then, I wish you the best.